For the first time in Bob Beckel's life, he decided to actually be a liberal on Fox News. So they cut his mic. This shows you what happens if you're a strong progressive on Fox, as opposed to what Bob Beckel usually does and what Alan Colmes usually does is oh, yes, I totally agree with you. You're so right. Or can I just slightly disagree with you and then largely agree with you on this topic? So you think I'm kidding that they cut his mic? Let's watch, and then you determine whether or not it was intentional.
Let me ask you a question. A former FBI counterterrorism task force member said, quote, Obama administration is more concerned about being politically correct than the safety of Americans. One of the most outrageous, rat-filled lines I've ever heard. You believe that? You agree with that?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Because
You really believe that?
Let me finish.
Okay, please.
Let me finish. Because he has actually expressed a desire to quell this hypothesized backlash of Americans against any kind of threat to us. He's always been concerned with Islamophobia. So the idea that PC trumps safety, he would almost agree with it, because that's his belief. He believes that there's an American potential for backlash, and that might affect our appeal worldwide. That's what he is worried about. I'm not saying that he's not interested in our safety, but he is more interested. His priority has always been about our reactions to an external threat, as opposed to the external
threat. So you're saying you agree with this comment?
You just said that you want to know why nobody spoke up. He speaks up. He's a former FBI counterterrorism task force member. He speaks up, and then you trash him. So doesn't that explain why people...
Would you not trash somebody who says that the president,
Bob,
I don't care which president of the United States is,
not if it's
politically
true.
correct? I'll trash him to the day he dies. I'll trash him, and then I'll trash his grave.
You just answered your own question. No, but you just answered your own
this
question.
guy, wait a minute. I heard what Greg said, but wait a second. You all are agreeing with the fact that the President of the United States believes politically correct is more important than the safety of the American people.
I'm going to tell you. Unintentionally, he makes us less safe. Unintentionally, he makes us less
I'm sorry,
safe.
I think it's intentional.
Really?
I'm saying, let's just say, if you don't act, there are consequences for a decision not to act. The consequence in this case is that we are now embroiled in a situation with ISIS that Marie Harf, the State Department spokesperson, says was even surprised by their own success.
Right.
I don't think that you can excuse not acting is a decision. There's consequences.
Can I add on to that? And can I agree in this respect that we will be less safe under President Obama intentionally lifting the sanctions?
So that's four yeses on this guy.
Stop, Bob. I'm going to specifically say in this world, lifting sanctions on Iran, allowing them to develop a bomb, will down the road prove that we've become less safe because of President Obama's policies.
That's the problem.
I'll take that lane. That's
and when you know where high-value targets are and you take a pass and you don't act on it, and when you don't attend your intelligence briefings, you prefer to get them in writing so you have plausible deniability so that no one warned you in person about a threat or real-time intelligence, that's on him. That is an intentional act that is not making Americans safer. Yes, it is.
Okay,
they put political correctness above the safety of Americans. Remember you said that, okay? Remember everybody at this table who said that, I want to remind you of it.
Happy to go to the
It's an unbelievable comment. I know.
We're waiting on an update from the CDC on the first Ebola case.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced. The second he starts to go off on an actual passionate rant, where he's like, you remember that you said that, and then I'm a... And then it cuts back, and Dana Perino's like, anyway, let's move on to a story about a puppy rolling in some fresh laundry. Oh, man. The positive side of this is the first time I'm going to say, Bob Beckel, well done. We're usually doing a story about how he's nowhere near liberal, but on this issue, he's the only one that has 2 brain cells in his head. So their argument is Obama flat out doesn't care about the security and the safety of the American people, that it's intentional that he's making us less safe. Now, I get it. If you want to critique Obama and say he's massively incompetent, by all means, go right ahead and do that. I may join you. If you want to say there's a lot of corruption going on here in the military-industrial complex, a lot of people make a lot of money when war goes on, I'm with you. I'm going to critique that all day long. However, the difference is I think that all the leaders, whether it's Bush, Obama, you name it, they all rationalize that they're doing the right thing as Boeing and Raytheon and Halliburton make a shitload of money off people dying, okay? So they still are at least trying in their own minds to care about security and safety of the American people. But the idea that it's nefarious, like Obama's sitting in a smoke-filled back room twisting his evil mustache and going, I want Americans to die. Are we going to invade Idaho with the National Guard? I don't know. What kind of a mood am I in? It's just pathetically stupid. That's why Beckel's like, I agree with you guys on 85% of things, and I still can't agree with you 100% of the time because you say such stupid shit. It's like he tries to agree with them as much as possible, but sometimes even he's like, the best part of that entire clip, other than the mic cutting clearly, was his facial expressions. Because every time they cut back to him, his like fucking hands were covering his face, and he's like epic eye rolls, and he's like, ah! Like he's so angry because they're saying such ridiculous shit. Now let's take this a step further. What kind of a policy do they want to protect America? They want to bomb the fuck out of ISIS and attack ISIS and be offensive and the world police. Well, guess what? Obama's doing that. He's doing that. He agrees with you, okay? So you're saying you wouldn't make America safe if you were president because he's doing everything you want to do. Okay, stop and think about this. As of right now, we're bombing in Syria. We're bombing in Iraq. We're still doing drone strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, and we still have a war going on in Afghanistan. That's 6 countries we're involved in, minimum. Doing airstrikes, droning, some places we're just flat out still on the ground, over 10,000 troops in Afghanistan, and you're saying he's too weak? Okay, I can't even... that's so stupid, I don't even know how to respond. And then Eric Bolling, another fucking epic dumbass here. Iran's gonna get a nuke, and that's why we're less safe under Obama. You idiot! Every single report that comes out from the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is the group tasked with overseeing Iran's nuclear program and every other nuclear program, every report says they are, quote, fully complying with the nuclear deal, and they're not moving towards a nuclear weapon. The only nuclear power they have is simply for electricity, which they're allowed to have under international law. Hassan Rouhani, the president of Iran, has come out multiple times and said, we don't even want nuclear power because in 1953, the Americans showed they'll happily come in here and topple our government, and we think there's a less chance of them doing that if we don't have nuclear weapons. So he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And the final thing is, it's so hilarious that the hosts of The Five say Obama doesn't care about the security and safety of the American people when every time there's a mass shooting, anytime there's gun deaths in America, what do they say? Don't look at it, sweep it under the rug, let's not even talk about it, do a 3-minute segment, then we'll brush over it, and then we'll move on to something else. You can never, under any circumstances, ever, do even the most moderate vanilla gun reform that would save lives. There are 32,000 gun deaths in the United States of America every single year on average. We're talking about everything here, from accidents to homicides to suicides, you name it. That's everything. 32,000. And when anybody makes a peep of, hey, maybe we should do universal background checks to care about the security and safety of the American people, what do they say? No, never. So maybe it's you that doesn't give a fuck about the security and safety of the American people.